What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Pedro and Hannibal podcast. I'm with my good friend Pedro, and we're going to have a battle, one of the greatest NFL games that ever occur ever next week. We're going to be talking about that. How are you doing this evening, sir?
I'm good. Listen, bro. When I saw, I should have known this, but like when I saw that they're playing each other this week, I was looking at my fantasy. I was like, hold up, what? The Bears are in New York? I was like, they're playing the G-Men? I said, oh, me and Hannibal got to talk about this.
We got to talk about it.
We
It's
got to
one of the
talk about
greatest
that.
games that ever is going to happen in the history of the NFL. Well, for me and you, maybe for like no one else.
I think for me and you, just for this particular week, and then we can move on from there.
Yeah, our teams will get beat up later on, but this is the battle of all battles.
This is a battle,
and
baby.
maybe no one else will care, but we do, and I'm sure actually the people who check us out all the time. We got some Giants fans, we got some Giants haters. I'm sure Nova will be in here in a few minutes. But before I want to get into that, there's the news that came out an hour ago for me. TMZ, when TMZ reports something, they get it right, at least for deaths.
Yeah,
I don't know about the other gossip stuff, but when they announce someone to pass away, I take their word for it. And then I went on Twitter and Facebook, so it's legit news. But I would say a rap legend, Coolio, passed away at 59 years old. He was in LA. I think at 4:00 in the afternoon, there was some kind of medical emergency was called. They went over to paramedics, and he was pronounced dead. There's no drugs on him, nothing around him, no signs of foul play. He'll get to the autopsy and figure out exactly what went wrong. But I was kind of shocked about this one, and the reason why for me is that, man, Gangsta's Paradise is probably one of the greatest rap songs, like one of the most iconic rap songs. And my father played that song when it first came out over and over and over again. The beat was amazing.
That beat hit,
sinister
man.
Beat,
that beat hit hard. Yeah, I remember. I think I was in like middle school or something when it came out. But yeah, that
was... even with the singing, it's a like heaven and hell kind of vibe. And it's not a positive song at all. It's really a man stuck in a really crazy situation that's happening right now. That song was 30 years ago. Some of the elements of I can't get out of this situation. This is how it is. And the interesting thing about there's no curse words in that song at all.
Yeah.
Because it's a sample from a Stevie Wonder song. And Stevie Wonder would not clear the song if he cursed.
I didn't know that. So, interesting fact.
So he had to... it's a weird Coolio facts. When the story happened, me and my wife were just listening to his songs. I was telling her, he couldn't curse in his song. And actually, you couldn't tell because the emotion, the passion, in that song.
What was that? That was with Dangerous Minds, right?
Yeah,
which was on the soundtrack, and then it was on his album as well.
I watched pieces of that movie. I didn't, because I know it was kind of a knockoff of Stand and Deliver, which
it wasn't that good.
Way better movie. But it fit. Like he's with Michelle Pfeiffer, and she was probably still pretty important back then.
Yeah.
But damn good song, man. So I was listening to that. I See When You Get There. There's another song that's kind of similar. Rest in peace to him, man. I still consider him a icon. He had like 3 or 4 classic songs, right? And I don't really, be honest, I haven't listened to a whole album of his stuff. But when you hear Gangsta's Paradise, it doesn't matter. Like few rappers.
He's a legend, man. You said he's a hip hop legend for sure. Won a Grammy, like he was. He had a couple years there where he was a big name, and we're losing him, man. We're losing these hip hop icons and stars, and even current young guys. Like it's messed up. It's just sad.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's kind of like depressing, and also you like think about your own mortality in terms of like, man, I still remember when that song came out. I still remember when Fantastic Voyage came out. Like I remember the videos. I was like, but time moves on, and hopefully, it looks like it's probably some kind of heart attack. I think that's Nova. Oh, what's up, Nova Dash? He's in the building. Heart attack. It probably something health related. Nothing violence or anything like that. But yeah, definitely Quana. Peace and comfort to his family. Definitely a legend. I know he was in some reality TV shows. Like he's also like a type of dude that didn't take himself too seriously. The fact that he probably came from, the mud, like, a lot of the rappers, and also he represented the West Coast well, like a lot of his hits had that West Coast feel. So rest in peace him. And also, I don't know if you're a fan of Nickelodeon. I don't know if you watch Nickelodeon. The theme
Uh,
song to Keenan and Kel.
I saw that on the thing that you put up. It had that as part of the whatever Keenan and
Yeah,
Kel. But I know the show, but I'm not a
I,
Nickelodeon kid. No.
there was the one time that it was when I was really watching Nickelodeon and Keenan and Kel. They're too funny, brother.
Like you
Keenan
were
was
watching
out
it.
there
Like we're
doing.
talking last week, right? You were watching it last week.
Was it? Did we may have mentioned it? I don't remember.
I
We may
don't
have
know.
mentioned it. Every once in a while, I'll throw a Nickelodeon reference in there.
Nickelodeon,
So yeah,
Nickelodeon.
yeah. So I see a lot of love for Coolio. So yeah, rest in peace to Coolio and everything. But
That's great. That's crazy, man.
it just that song "Gangsta's Paradise." You listen to it, yeah, you get a chance to listen to that right now, or not right now, obviously after the show, but just the elements of and the theme and the things he was talking about. We're still dealing with the violence in many communities, and I know the P&B Rock dude, P&B Rock, that died at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. He got robbed and whatever. They arrested somebody, 17 years old. 17 years old.
For what? Just for
He
clout and
was.
fame to get a chain? Like
This is how terrible, isn't it? It gets worse than this. They're still looking for another person. His father drove him to the Chicken and Ralph. He drove him there, and they still looking for him. He's still armed and dangerous. He's out there. They got his picture and everything. He put his son in that situation.
So what is it? They were both banging. He wants his son to get his stripes, so he brings his son on a hit. I
I'm
mean, come on.
assuming. I'm
That's
assuming
what
it
it
may not
sounds like to
even
me.
been
That's what it sounds like to me.
and it looks like it probably was a robbery. 17-year-old probably went overzealous, went crazy. Why do you put first of all, why you rob anybody? But then why would you put your son in a situation where he could have died
You
and then
know,
he
I
kills
saw
him?
I saw Fat Joe being interviewed talking about this, and Fat Joe was like, "Man, I used to stick up people. Ain't no problem. You got to eat, rob who you got to rob, but why somebody got to die?" That's basically what he was saying. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? Listen,
Twisted logic, but it makes
it's
it's yeah.
twisted logic. But what hit me was, he's not wrong. Like why if you're gonna rob somebody, rob them. Like like why murder the man? Like it's just so senseless. You know what I'm saying? Like
It
I don't
it
know.
looks like when you're that young, and I don't know, I couldn't imagine doing anything like that. But you're 17 years old, your father drove you to like this is it's just so perverse. He may have overreacted. He may have lost it a little bit. He shot. He probably realized what the hell I just did, and for what? He's going to jail for the rest of his life. His father's going to go to jail for the rest of life for what? Some chains that, like you said, like you were saying,
It's
stick up
crazy.
people are sticking up people. They're not stick up and then murder. You just took it
Right.
to a whole different level. All right, you robbing someone again. It's what happens in the just living trying to figure out what's going on, and that's why I think Ice T, where he said, "You're in LA. Why are you testing the streets? You are a multimillionaire. Do you need to have $100,000 on you where it could be taken from you by someone snatching it? Someone could snatch $100,000 away. Imagine that. Like someone could take a portion of your net worth in one grab, right? Like it doesn't make any sense.
It it doesn't, man. And what's lost is a man lost his life, and he had kids, right, or a
Yeah,
kid,
he had
or
a daughter.
so like that's what's crazy. And looking hindsight's always 2020, right? But like we talked about this last week. He's got all this jewelry, and it is what it is. Like you want wear your jewelry, you earned it, buy your things, like it's all good. But like, how about you wear $80,000 worth of jewelry, and then you use that 20K for some security?
Yeah.
Like what I'm saying. Like we have to make as we start collecting money as young minority men, right? We
Yeah.
need to be moving smarter. We owe that to our families, ourselves, our kids. We need, you know what I'm saying? Like, think about that. If he's got bodyguards and stuff, that ain't happening. If he's got two dudes, one guy outside, he's got one guy in a booth behind him. That's not happening. It's
No.
just not. That kid's gonna see some dude in the front looking a little intimidating. He's got a gun in his waist, whatever, bulletproof vest on. Like, just that alone, that man is still alive. I believe that with my heart. So these young guys gotta they gotta start moving smarter.
Yeah.
It's wild, man. It's wild.
The problem is the image of hip hop, especially gangster rappers or rappers who are gang affiliated. They either were in it or they did some dirt, some drug dealing, whatever. And it's an insult if they have security. They'll put that in the rhyme. So if they try and diss another person, like you walk with security. The idea of me wearing all this jewelry and still being a hood and nothing touches that's even more of a stripe. That's more of a I can do this rather than why are you even putting yourself in this position? This seems a little silly. It seems like if anyone walked around with a big case of cash and you went into a low income neighborhood, like what do you think is going to happen? And the fact that nothing does happen, that's where you become more invincible. And it just
Yeah.
gets worse and worse and worse. And again, not to blame his girlfriend for posting a picture and saying I'm eating food, but if that didn't happen, he probably wouldn't have got hit because they knew
Yeah.
exactly where it was.
But
Basically,
yeah, I find it hard to play. I mean, that's true. I agree with you, but like, let's just be real. That's what women do. And that's what some dudes do. You're out with your
yeah,
girl, you're having a good time, you're out with your man.
social media,
People, yeah,
you
my
keep
girl
it up,
does
yeah.
it all the time. She does it all the time. We're out to eat. My what's she say? My camera's got to eat first, and she takes a picture of the food. We were at the club. We were at and I'm nobody, right? But like we're at the comedy club a couple weeks ago. We're doing a little video. We're taking pictures. She puts it on the Instagram, on her Facebook. That's what people do.
Yeah,
And yeah, these are celebrities and stuff, so it's different. But that's why you have security. That's if you're at that point, if you can afford $100,000 in jewelry, you can afford to pay a couple guys $1,000 to hang out with you for a few hours because that's all it would have cost you. One guy gets 1,000, one guy gets 1,000. That's pennies to that guy, right? So I don't
well,
know.
let me
It's
ask you a
just sad,
question. I
man.
mean,
It's
you're
sad.
not, you personally are not at a level where you have, and of course, I don't think you're the type of person that would spend hundreds of thousands of
No, I
dollars on
wouldn't.
jewelry.
I would never. No.
But as a budding YouTuber, right? If you somehow had a channel that million subscribers, doing very well, you get to a point where you may get some coverage here and there, like either mainstream coverage or something. It's possible you get to that point, right? I think you probably will. When it comes down to do social media stuff, are you going to be telling yourself or telling your girl, hey, listen, um, we going out, but let's post what we did after we leave? Or you're like, you know what, don't worry about, no big deal, post whatever, even when we're there for a while. What would your the way you move change? Let's say if
My,
you did have that million
mm,
subscribers and
you
you
know
actually are
what?
doing pretty well.
The way I move probably wouldn't change only because I'm not in a certain lifestyle. I'm not flashing thousands of dollars of jewelry. I'm not in a rap game, so I wouldn't feel as threatened. Now, if I had some type of stalker situation or things happening if I had any kind of gut instinct, then I might start to modify how I move and what I post. But yeah, I don't think I would because I wouldn't want to live my life out of fear necessarily. But like if I had any kind of like beef, drama, any kind of issues, anything that felt a little off, then I
Yep.
probably would. Um, but it's a good question because I think we have to realize in his situation, we're talking about, hey, you don't want to look like a punk. You don't want
Yeah, a lot
another
of
guy
it's
to write a
very
song
distinctive
about
image.
you. Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't want to have a guy write a song. You don't want to feel like you got to check in. All these things we hear in the rap community, right?
Yeah.
But that's him being a little bit selfish, right? Because he's not thinking about the people around him that he's providing for, that rely on him. He's not thinking about his kids because his pride's getting in the way, right?
Yeah.
So I would move differently if I felt I had to, and I'm sure he's had other things happen before this that
That's
he
the
probably
yeah.
should have
He
protected
lived a
himself
little
at
bit
some
of
point.
he lived a little bit of gang affiliated. He was
Right.
getting in some issues, either fighting. He's another kind of artist that would put IG or social media guns. So, but even in this situation, he did nothing. He was eating. Right. This situation. But he did live that kind of lifestyle because he was homeless at one point. He was on the streets. He lived in the streets. And going back to that idea of not you don't have to necessarily forget where you came from, but there need to be some level of evolving. Like
Yeah.
50 Cent, as much as he is petty on social media, he's extremely petty. You never see him slipping like that.
No.
Never. He first of all, because he was caught slipping one time and almost died. So there's no ever he'll never see himself getting caught in a situation where that probably will ever happen again, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it takes that kind of thing where you almost go before you realize like I don't think he goes back to the south side of Queens without armed security. Like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
You almost died there, right?
Yeah.
Jay-Z,
Well,
Nas,
yeah.
like they wouldn't do that.
And I think, yeah, it's a good point. I think one thing I think about is you see celebrities, and a lot of them you'll see in pictures or you see a thing on TMZ, they have security with them, right? But then
Yeah,
also sometimes you see big name celebrities and they're just out on the town on a Saturday night or a Saturday day walking in the park, or even, and they're just it doesn't seem like they have security. I'm sure they don't have security 100% of the time. Some do, but some of them don't, right? That were much bigger stars than him, right?
right.
Think about it, right? So I think you also have to know, like, what kind of lifestyle am I living? And if he has these gang affiliations and things like that, and he's being real flashy, he's somebody that should have security. Whereas, let's say it's, I don't know, Justin Bieber. I'm sure he probably has security everywhere, but like, he's not the type that's going to feel probably the need to, every time he goes to Starbucks, to have somebody, right?
Right.
Like, because you see him on TMZ and he's getting in his car. He doesn't seem like he has security with him, and he's a much bigger star, much more money.
Right.
But I think it's, it's in this hip hop world, right? It's like everything's about that clout and that image and keeping up with that and being hard and being whatever, right? Being tough, right? Keeping that gang affiliation. And unfortunately, if you move like that sometimes and your pride gets in the way, senseless acts of crime might happen because you're not moving how you could be moving.
Yeah.
And I think it's unfortunate that we see it with young men that look like us. Like, it just doesn't, we don't
It,
see it
it
happen
sounds
to other people.
exhausting. Like if I
Yeah, I
did
mean,
live in that kind of life, it feels tiring because no one ever is that, lack of a better word, hard all the time, where you always ready to fight. Like that must be exhausting. That's something that
yeah,
should be done in very small moments, probably in battle, right? Combat, right? Like there's fatigue that happens when soldiers are in a life and death situation. But imagine where you live in an environment. Actually, well, I'm currently living in an environment. There was a woman that got shot, I think 2 blocks from me. Cops are
damn,
still running around, detectives. This kind of gun violence, where you are worried about someone taking you out because someone, either you did something wrong or there's just beef, and every day, like, to a point, that's why everyone is just so aggressive, right? And then
mm,
we enjoy the music. The music stems from that level of aggression, but it's like, why can't we just keep it in the area where it's about the music and not what happens
yeah,
outside? But it seems like they can't separate the two.
yeah,
It's connected somehow. Well, not
yeah.
it is.
Well, so let me ask you a question. What do you and your wife, what kind of conversation do you have when something like that happens so close,
Well, unfortunately, it's so regular, right?
Yeah.
And we always say this, that the people can live in the hood and have healthy, productive lives if you mind your business. Always, my father
Mm,
kind of told me that if you mind your business,
yeah.
nothing really happens. So yeah, there's always a stray stuff, or
Right.
someone's trying to mess with you, but a lot of it, and same thing kind of in prison. If you mind your business, don't associate yourself in certain elements of people, you can live a decent life, right? I mean, you probably should move out because, it just probably not the best environment to raise kids in, but
Yeah.
you mind your business, you do your thing. The people on the block know you. They know, oh, yeah, that person ain't trying to buy anything from us or ain't trying to gang bang. They let you alone. They really do. It's not as aggressive as some people who never live in the hood think. As soon as you get in here, and they just started ripping apart. No, it doesn't work that way.
So,
It's
that's
if
a
you
good point. Yeah, I get
Yeah,
that.
yeah, just don't be stupid. Don't be
Yeah.
stupid. And I tell you right now, in my area, there's a lot of people coming in. We call that the term gentrification. It's
Oh yeah.
happening. So people
In
are coming in
Brooklyn,
anyway.
yeah.
Yeah, eventually, there's gonna be a Starbucks down the street.
Oh yeah,
You're gonna
Jamba
meet,
Juice, Starbucks,
yeah, and all that. So
yeah.
it is what it is. But let's move on to something a little bit more lighter tone. And I want to talk about this. For you guys who checked out the short I put on this morning, because I was a little not outraged. You know what? Yes, I was outraged.
Mhm.
It's so messy. And the problem is, hopefully we get to this point where we are successful enough and have enough money to understand this. I mean, I wouldn't participate in this. Well, maybe. I just want to put it up right here. I'm gonna put it
Yeah,
up.
let's get
Not the
into it.
short, but just the little story I just seen. So Scottie Pippen just keeps taking L's. I mean, that's all I can really say.
Man, he's taken so many
He's one of the
L's.
greatest basketball players ever.
Yes.
He was extremely important to the success of the Bulls,
Oh yeah.
but he just keeps taking these L's. So Pippen and Jordan dating. That's a weird way of answering. Michael Jordan's son, Marcus Jordan, reportedly seeing Scottie Pippen's ex-wife, Larsa Pippen. That's how you pronounce
hmm
her.
hmm
She has a lot of. You can tell she had a lot of work
She
to do.
is. She's a man. She is such a like. Just I don't know, man. She needs a hug. She needs some love. I don't know what her. She wants attention so bad. That's the one that Future had a thing with. He
Yeah,
wrote a song about, right? Yeah.
yeah. So I
Yeah.
think she may have kids with Scottie Pippen. It's like one of
Yeah.
his
No,
long
they're
time.
yeah, no, he has a son. Scottie Pippen has a son that I believe just he was in college. I think he's in the NBA somewhere, G League or
I think
something. Yeah.
he may be signed to
I think
something,
he was
either
I think he
G League
was Lakers. I
or
think he
a
was with
team.
the Lakers last year
Yeah,
for on the G League. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So her history of dating very um notable athletes and rappers is well documented, and it seems like she doesn't really care about her image or how it looks. Well,
No.
more power to you. But this is a weird story. Now, there's a video, and if you check out the short I put up, they were both hanging out, dancing. Looks like they're dating. Like they're dating. Looks like two people hanging out at a concert that actually happened here in New York, called Rolling Loud. I guess they're moving all over the country now. I thought it was
Yeah.
just something that happened in Florida.
No, that's been a big thing.
Yeah, it's a
It's a
big thing
big
now,
deal. Yeah.
and it just seems really messy. So this is, Scottie Pippen and her were together for a very long time. I'm sure she met Marcus when he was a child. Why would you find that attractive to be dating him,
Mm.
even if he is a grown man? What's going on here? Like, and imagine, okay, I'm trying to put myself in Scottie Pippen's shoes. That's the ex-wife. You don't control her anymore. But damn that, like, of all the men to talk to, you could talk
Yeah.
to Future, you
Yeah.
could talk to Diddy or whoever, but why would you mess with him of
Yeah.
all
I
people? Like,
mean,
what's your thoughts when you saw this story?
I think the only thing it would be much worse if it was Michael Jordan himself. That's a whole like that's a
He
we're
would
going to
not.
talk about that only for a whole hour on this podcast,
Yeah,
right?
Jordan went. Jordan got.
Jordan, yeah, no.
He got. I
Jordan's got a
see. I see the
fine
women he
gal.
messing
Yeah,
with.
yeah.
Yeah, he ain't
But
messing with.
I think it says more about her than it does Michael Jordan's son. I could be wrong,
Yeah.
but I think I think she's just a kind of person that wants to be in the limelight, wants attention, and I think she liked the whole Future thing, and I think she feeds off that. I mean, it's just sad. I mean, I don't know what the age difference is, which it doesn't really matter, but yeah, could you imagine like at a barbecue at some point, like Marcus Jordan's 13 or something, and
Yeah, it's weird.
that's weird, right?
Yeah.
Think about that. If the shoe was on the other foot, if
Oh, it
if
would be.
if Scottie Pippen was dating Michael Jordan's daughter, think about that. Like it'd probably be like,
You think Jordan would even stand for that? Again, they're all
oh, there's
grown
no
adults.
way. Yeah. But I feel like there's a rift between Jordan and Pippen. I feel like Pippen's
Oh yeah,
made some
definitely.
shot. There's definitely a little bit of a rift there. A
Let's
little bit.
talk about it.
Yeah.
Actually, KB Magic with a really good comment. He said he think Jordan's son is taking an L for dating a chick for the streets. But that's the thing.
She is for the streets. She is for
She
the
is.
streets.
I think we all agree with that. But if he's just playing the game and he just out there, I think it's a little silly for him. Like I would kind of look like, really, this is where you want to be dating? But he's a grown man, and maybe he's just playing too. It could be a casual thing.
Let
It
me
just
say
seems a little
this.
weird.
Let me say this because I didn't see the video, and we do media people. We do a good job of like looking at something and saying, "Oh, what's going on there?" and assuming or wanting to assume.
Yeah.
What if they happen to be at the Rolling Loud? And you know people, you go places, how are you doing? How's your dad? Da 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 da. Whatever. Tell Scottie I said what's up, or I don't know. What
Yeah.
if it's just them being videotaped by each other having a conversation? Now I don't. Are they dancing? Is it really provocative? Is it not? So this could be like, are they dating? Are they not? Or are they just two people that knew each other and said hello and happened? Oh, let me buy you a drink. It could have totally been that, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we don't know that necessarily now. I think more things will come out. But if I'm Michael Jordan, I'm gonna call my son. Hey, what's going on, man? What's the deal here? You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Like
yeah. I think Jordan's probably laughing because
he's patting
the
himself. Jordan's a little
yeah, the
petty
beef
himself.
between the
Yeah.
two has gone for a while. The thing is with this situation is there have been rumors. So
Mm,
they've been in same places together. So this one is just more of a, again, we're all guessing here. And I'm just wondering what is going on. Like, okay, at least even for Marcus' situation, you know that these two men, very important men, Jordan and Pippen, do not like each other, and this has been going on for a while. Even I
yeah.
think, to be honest, beyond the Jordan documentary, where Pippen will be like, "Yeah, LeBron is the greatest ever," you'd be like, "Pippen, like what's wrong? Like really, LeBron is the greatest ever?"
I think
Then
Pippen.
it
I
kind of
think
turns
Pippen.
like,
I think he doesn't feel like he gets enough love.
"Yo, definitely,
I
definitely,
think he feels slighted a little bit.
yeah."
I don't think. I'll tell you this right now. I'm a Bulls fan. I was a kid when they were winning chips. They don't win six without Scottie Pippen.
Absolutely.
Jordan might get a couple, but Jordan don't get six
He
without Pippen.
struggled with when Pippen came in with the defense.
Pippen
I
was
mean,
great.
Pippen can
He was
guard
great.
almost every position, right?
Yeah.
At that
Pippen was
point,
ahead of his time, but what he
yeah,
could do. And then when Jordan left to play baseball, Pippen was in the MVP running. He took that team to the playoffs, lost to the Knicks.
yeah.
They had a
They won over 50
62,
games. I
yeah,
remember.
like 60 games or something. It was crazy.
Yeah,
They had a good year.
yeah.
But Pippen's always been that guy that I think he never got enough attention that he thought he deserved. And historically, it's weird. He's been a great teammate, but then also there's been moments when he's been a really, really shitty teammate. I remember uh, Phil Jackson drew up a play at the end of one game for a game-winning shot. He called Tony Kukok's number,
Yeah, I remember
and
that.
and Pippen was so mad that he didn't get the ball, even when Kukoc made the shot, game-winning shot, and you see everybody celebrating. Pippen's all mad. Phil Jackson's getting mad because he sees how Pippen's. So Pippen's had these moments where he's felt like he can't be. He wants the light on him, and he doesn't get enough attention. I think sometimes.
I
So
think Pippen may have suggested that Phil Jackson had racial issues. Like he said some wild
yes,
stuff. Let me
he's
actually,
had some
before I say that,
allegations. Yeah,
let me look this up real quick. I remember a story similar, or something like that.
he
Something
he he
about,
has said that. Yeah,
yeah, yes, yeah. Scottie Pippen accused Phil Jackson of, like, what? Because he didn't give you the ball at the end of the game?
yeah, it's
What is
crazy.
wrong with you? So like Scottie Pippen has been, like I said, a little sensitive. Actually, there's a funny joke right here. Hector, shout out to Hector Mello. Melissa Pippen's face looks like an expanded. Like, listen, there's a lot of work on her face. You could tell
A
a
lot.
lot of scars.
Let me say this real quick before you. While I have this in my brain,
Sure.
a lot of these women, they're pretty women, but like we got to get to the point. I see a lot of women. It's like this. I call it the Kardashian hoax or
Oh yeah,
trend.
definitely.
These
Hmm.
women, some of these women we see on social media, Instagram, these shows, and I put her in Laura or Larsa.
Yeah.
It's like they don't really look like that.
No.
Like if she wakes up tomorrow morning taking a picture, you will not recognize that woman. So I feel
No.
like
No.
it's so, and I know we have some women in the chat. Like, what's going on here? Like, it's not even the same person, and it takes hours. And you have this pound of makeup on, and you got the butt implants, the tits. It's like the bow tie. Like, what's happening here? Like, it's
They
so
look like
unnatural.
dolls. They don't look natural.
It's so
But it's
unattractive to
very
me. I can't.
attractive to
Yeah, yeah,
most men. Most men find that
yeah,
attractive. You see her, and if she's in the good lighting, and you're gonna enjoy, you're gonna like it. And for some reason, if you are an athlete, and this is how a lot of athletes get themselves in trouble, they are going after the most provocative, doll-like ish women.
yeah,
That's, they're not looking for a natural looking person that you can wake up in the morning and they look very similar to even when they are at the club with all their makeup and all their stuff on. That it just it you know good
it's
good
weird.
comment right here. Yeah, Juana, they don't love themselves. I
Yeah,
think it's just it's the social media, it's the likes. Those, you get a lot of likes.
yeah.
You fit with the Instagram filters where your face looks smoother, and everyone looks the same. Even her looks like she's trying to be a Kardashian. Chloe looks like a totally different person.
Yeah, it's
Like,
it's it's so It's sad, bro. Like to me,
Yeah.
it's like kind of sad a little bit because I think the comment right there just said that they don't love. I think it's sad. I think we all have that. Everybody has their insecurities about this or that. We all have that. We're humans. We're flawed. We always want something to be improved about ourselves, right? Even physically. I think most of us have something, right? But like to do it on that extreme, it's like I got to do this. I got to spend all this time to do this, and it's like, what's happening here? Like it's so strange to me. I don't know.
Get giggity with the classic comment. Nah, give me some stretch marks and some little college cheese. 100%. I agree with
Like
the
the
gig.
tiger stripes, like we call them tiger stripes in my
Yeah,
house. Yeah.
yeah. That's a healthy person there. All right, I'm gonna draw a parallel. See if this makes sense about Scottie Pippen and his issues with not feeling he's getting enough recognition, enough love. He's been under the shadow of Jordan for so long, where he is reacting and saying outrageous things about Phil Jackson being racist, and how he always find ways to shy or at least throw shade on Jordan when he knew he was in there with him. He was in the trenches with him. Jordan, and I feel like Jordan has to gave Pippen his flowers on many occasions. In the Hall
He's
of Fame
given us
speech, he
flowers so
mentioned
much.
Pippen, right?
Yeah.
So I don't.
And Phil Jackson has also said, he's been quoted saying like Scottie Pippen's like the best overall basketball player I've ever coached. He said that. I've
Yeah,
heard him say
Hall
that.
of Famer, top.
Yeah.
I know 75. He was a top 50 player. And I know, I think he's another one of these athletes. Even though he stopped playing, he needs to stop going on social media. It bothers him. I know because a lot of people will do funny jokes about how Pippen was. Maybe he would never been a Hall of Famer if he didn't go on the Bulls. We don't know that. I don't. I think he would still be in Hall of Fame. I don't know if he'll be top 50 because when you help 6 championships, like of course it's going to elevate you to a stratosphere. But if he got, I don't know the draft order of when he got in, but if he went a different team, would Pippen still be a Hall of Fame player?
Yeah, there's a lot of what ifs. I mean, I could say if Pippen went to the Pistons versus the Bulls, Michael Jordan's probably not considered the best ever because he probably doesn't have 6 rings, right? So you have to understand in these team sports, right? This isn't golf and tennis, right? You got to have a couple pieces. Magic Johnson had Kareem. Kareem had Magic. LeBron had Wade. Will Chamberlain had Jerry West. Shaq had Kobe. Kobe had Shaq. Kobe had Paul Gasol. Like Steph Curry's got Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. KD had Steph Curry. Like the list goes on and on and on. So like it's very rare that no one guy does it by himself. You have role players that play roles, and the teams that win typically will have a superstar, but then guys around him that could help do what the superstar might not be good at or doesn't want to do. So Pippen needs to chill.
Yeah.
I think maybe he's not gotten over Future smashing his wife or ex-wife with the Gucci flip-flops on. I think he's just not over that because he got dragged, and then I think it's messing with his head
he
a
should
little
have
bit.
been above that. Like, yeah, or whatever. A rapper's talking crap. I'm Scottie Pippen.
His son's in the NBA.
Son is in the NBA.
Michael Jordan's sons never even sniffed the NBA.
They you could tell that they didn't have the same passion.
So like, come on, you got that up on. If anything, that's a bigger
He
flex to
seemed
me.
decent from the clips I've seen in the summer league. He looked like he could play.
Yeah, he's a good player. Yeah.
I agree. KG Magic. Real basketball fans need Pippen was extremely important. I couldn't stand him because first of all, he would give Ewing a bunch of crap.
Dude, he would
give Starks a bunch of crap. He will talk crap to them. As a Knicks fan, the Bulls was kicking our asses. We never were able to get past Jordan, especially when they were at their peak powers. It was never going to happen. But
no,
it just seems like Pippen never really felt loved. And similar to some of these Instagram models, he's acting out a little bit. And this just seems a little weird. And I'm sure he's not feeling it. I'm sure he feels embarrassed again. He's like, this woman can't seem to chill out. And now that she probably finds Pippen annoying too. He's like, well, I'm going to go mess with Marcus, knowing that both of these men having problems. And The Last Dance, Scottie Pippen did not like the documentary. He didn't like it either. So that's why he's even more upset. And this guy that should just be successful, happy, retired Hall of Fame basketball player just seems to be always annoyed. And I don't think it's going to get any better now since Marcus probably smashing his ex-wife.
Dude. I mean, listen, like I
It's just
said
sad.
before, it's like
I don't want to hear about the dunk on Ewan.
that.
That was,
That
yeah, he dunked the
listen,
crap
that
out of
dunk
it.
was done,
I still
man.
remember that.
Pippen was that he was ahead of his time, and he was a different player back then. You know, he was one of one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like what he could do with defensively and solid offensively, but like defensively, he was so good. He was big, he was tall, he was lean, lanky. Like he was a rim protector, but then he could play the point sometimes. Great passer, could score when he needed to. Like he was very, very, very good, and
yeah. This is a good
it's just
analogy. Let
crazy,
me see
man.
if you think you agree that Pippen was the drummer, but
Yeah,
Jordan was the
it's yeah,
singer.
yeah. You can't.
Yeah,
You're not gonna have Paul McCartney and John Lennon without Ringo and George
yeah.
Harrison. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to have. It's a team. There's always a face of a team. There's always a superstar. There's always a face of a band, right? You don't have. You have to know your part and play it well. And I think Pippen's just. I think he's butthurt a
And-
little
and-
bit.
yeah,
So
and just be more secure in yourself and stop listening to outside noise. So I don't know. There's another story that just popped in my head, but I did saw this earlier as well. Um, damn, this is how much I do not know baseball.
I think did Aaron Judge just hit
Aaron Judge,
61?
there you
Yeah.
go. You could tell I do not watch baseball. He got the 61 home runs tonight.
That's amazing. So
Yeah,
he ties Roger Maris.
yeah,
So Roger Maris, for those of you that don't know, I'll give you a quick 30-second baseball history. Babe Ruth had 60 home runs, was home run king for the longest time. Roger Maris, well, I guess it didn't last that long because they played in the same team. Anyways, Roger Maris got to 61, kind of a
yeah,
controversial thing. That lasted forever until Mark McGwire beat it. Sammy Sosa wound up passing it. Then Barry Bonds on steroids, along with McGwire and Sosa, they were all on roids. Passed it. I think Bonds hit 73 or something one year.
yeah. It was
And
like 72, something
something like
outrageous.
that. Yeah, it was something crazy.
Um,
So now, Aaron Judge has now passed or tied Roger
Tired,
Maris
yeah,
for the most home runs in the American League because Barry Bonds broke it in the National League. So he'll
yeah,
probably get one or two more, and he'll have the most home runs in history in the American League, passing up Maris and Babe Ruth, which are Yankee legends. So shout out to Aaron Judge.
yeah. Aaron Judge, he's a big man for
He'll
baseball. I
get
mean, I don't know about
MVP this
baseball
year
side.
too.
He's a big dude.
He's huge. He's basically he's a basketball player. I think he's
Yeah,
6'8", something crazy. Yeah.
like a giant.
Yeah.
And I saw the clip. I wanted to put it on here. No one got the ball. They all, and it actually was embarrassing.
Did it
They
go in the
all,
bullpen or something, or did it?
it wasn't a high flyer. It actually, I can't describe it, but basically what happened is it fell in the, like they have the stands in the middle there, and it fell in between.
And
So
they couldn't go get it?
no, and
Wow.
these 3 or 4 guys with gloves missed it, and it was kind of embarrassing.
Do you know how much that ball was reported to be worth?
7 figures easy. Because I think
$5 million.
they lost. They dropped the bag.
$5 million.
Like all of them missed him, and then one dude just took his gloves, threw it up in the air. He's like, I can't believe I just missed that ball because you're not getting that ball.
No, and Pujols hit 700. Shout out to Pujols. I mean, he's had an amazing year. Okay, Albert Pujols, St. Louis Cardinals, right?
Yeah.
Hit 700. The fan, there was a big thing like, do you keep the ball? Do you give it back to Pujols?
Keep the ball.
You keep the ball. Get the that ball's like worth like $1 or $2 million.
That's an investment.
Yes,
I don't have your money, Albert.
No,
I know Albert didn't care, but
keep the ball. I always keep the ball. Yeah,
keep the ball. But
can you imagine how do you go to sleep tonight? You had that ball coming at you. It touches your glove and you don't catch it. That's an L. That's an L in life.
It was at least 2 guys had the chance and missed it. And it's like, you guys are baseball fans. Y'all should know how to catch the ball. I wish we could show it. It was, maybe I make it as a short. Oh, it was so sad.
Because
you just fumbled the back. That person would have been a millionaire.
Oh, and instantly, you catch that ball, you get a lawyer, an attorney, whatever. You auction it, you sell it. That ball's going to get you $5 million is what the estimate was.
All right, so if you caught the ball, would you sell it immediately or would you wait?
I catch that ball, I immediately leave. I leave. I ask security because people come down and ask you. I say, hey, I'm going to keep this ball, but if you guys could help me get to my car, I would love that. I get to my car and I figure out how to get a lawyer, an attorney, somebody that's going to help me sell this at an auction or whatever, or privately. and that's what I do. I do,
Oh,
and
so
I do that the
so you
next
wouldn't
day.
you wouldn't hold on to it. You wouldn't say I can maybe the ball would become more valuable in a few
No,
years.
I think its value is good right now. I try to sell it as soon as I can. I don't want somebody trying to rob me. Give me my money. I'm good. That's easy. It's a lottery ticket, right? You
Yeah.
win the lotto, you cash it in. You ain't holding it. I'm cashing that in all the way. Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't know too much about baseball, but I know I just see a comment about Barry Bonds. He cheated. But
Mhm.
if in terms of the greatest hitters of all time, even because Barry Bonds, he juiced up towards the end of his career, he's still considered one of the greatest hitters, right? Would you still consider him the great one of the greatest hitters? Like, so
He's in the top. Yes, when Barry Bonds was doing his thing,
yeah,
when you look at he had like a 3 or 4 year span where if you pitched the ball to him, he was hitting a home run or a double, and his stats, his walk rate. I mean, nobody did this, and I don't have Barry Bonds hate. This is why we have to realize a lot of people were juicing at that time. Regular dudes just trying to make a team, pitchers. This is documented.
right.
So all it did for him was it made a 350-foot home run become or a fly ball become 370, 380. So yes, he hit more home runs on steroids than that.
He just looked, and he also looked weird. He was
And
like too
he
swollen.
looked weird,
He's
but
swelled up. It's like,
a lot of people were doing roids. So to me, it's like not a big deal. That's just me. Baseball profited from it. So it's kind of hypocritical. And they knew this was happening. Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa were juiced up. A-Rod, Roger Clemens, Andy Pettit, name after name after name,
yeah,
big stars, right? We hear about the big stars because all the other guys that were doing it aren't big names. So those names don't get talked
yeah.
about, but it's in the reports. So for me, I don't care that he was taking steroids. I absolutely do not care. I
Yeah.
think he should be in the Hall of Fame. I think Pete Rose should
Because
be in the
I
Hall
was
of
saying, I
Fame.
don't think
Like,
he's in the Hall of Fame. Do you think
no,
he'll get in?
I don't know. I think part of his issue is he was an asshole to the media, and these
Yeah.
are the people that vote. So I can see him not getting in because he was kind of a jerk, and I think that's the bigger reason that he might
I
not.
don't
Because
understand the whole Hall of Fame vote by these
yeah,
writers and stuff. I don't understand why all of a sudden we're giving guys, yeah, they write about the game, but why they get the power? Shouldn't it be based on either only people who played? And maybe that's a little elitist. Maybe, all right, sure. But if you coach the game and play the game and you've been there for decades, you can vote because you've seen generations. And I think this goes with all sports, basketball too. I don't care if you wrote. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's important to write and be a broadcaster, and that's you're helping expand the game to to the masses. No, I want people who played and people who coach. Now maybe that's biased because if you did play with the guy, then you may say, yeah, he went in like I know I'm going over the place. Eli Manning, right? I think he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. But we're like, do I really feel like he's a Hall? No. He beat the greatest quarterback who ever played twice. That's how he's going to get in. But should he get in? He's going to get
no,
in first because he's
no,
liked.
he should
People like
not.
Eli Manning.
He should not be in the Hall of Fame.
He
But
had a long career. He
yeah,
has some top whatever because he's been there for 1,000 years. He didn't get hurt. That's one thing. He played a lot.
yeah,
But he beat the greatest quarterback who ever played twice.
the defensive line did, and he made a couple good plays.
Thank you. Don't trigger
He
me
made
right now.
he made a couple good plays.
He
That
threw a
doesn't get
ball
you in
at
the Hall of Fame.
someone's head.
That don't
and he
get you in the
caught
Hall of Fame.
ball.
That don't get you in the Hall of Fame. No, sorry, Hannibal. You're drinking the home Giants Kool-Aid. It's all
I'll
right.
show that play right now. That was a Hall of Fame play.
It
He was
was
almost
not.
getting
It was
taken
a
down.
lucky
He was
catch.
getting
It was
grabbed on. He
well, some
took that
people think
ball.
that play should have been stopped at the whistle, but whatever. All right. I hear you got to gloat now because your G-Man about to lose on Sunday. I see what you're doing. Hannibal.
We're gonna get into that. So, all right. So Eli Manning is not in your Hall of Fame.
Oh, hell no.
He's getting in whether you like it or not.
Not even close. Not
He's
even
popular and he's brother Peyton, so he's getting in.
That's
if he
gonna
gets
help
in
him.
full, if he's full first ballot, okay, that's kind of silly.
That's
and I think
crazy.
he may get in because he's a popular person.
Is he a better quarterback than Ben Roethlisberger? They played in the same era.
You know what? I'll be honest with you. Eli was in New York media. We for many years hated him. We wanted him off the team. We were all pissed off. We were like, why we didn't get Phillip Rivers? Why we didn't get Ben Roethlisberger? If we had Ben, they may have won more than two. I mean, if he had that defense and him actually being a gamer more times than Eli, like Eli for some reason was able to be a gamer in like weird spots. when it mattered, which is great. But Ben was just more consistent. Philip
Yeah.
Rivers was a fucking beast.
Yeah, he was good. Yeah. But he
So
got no rings.
because he was listen.
And he was with really
Philip
good Chargers
and
teams.
they were in
He
the
played with
wrong conference, man.
he played with LaDainian Tomlinson, and they got no rings.
Yeah, that was weird. Patriots, man.
I mean,
Patriots.
Philip Rivers had LaDainian Tomlinson. Eli Manning never had a running back like that.
Tiki
He had
Barber is decent.
Tiki Barber's not LT. Get out of here.
Oh no, I'm just saying he had
He's
Tiki.
decent. Yes.
Yeah, some
But
decent.
LT's a Hall of Famer. Tiki's not a Hall of Famer.
No, well, because he's also a person that people don't like. He's a douchebag.
He is. Yeah.
We could talk about that later.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, let's get into it. Before we end this. The greatest football game that's ever going to play is going to happen next on Sunday at 1 p.m. The Giants versus the Bears. Now, I think the Bears are. I think the Giants are. I think I'm looking at the odds. I think you guys are plus 3.5 is what I think.
Right.
I saw.
Well, home field always gets you 2.5 to 3 points. So it's pretty even.
Game.
It's pretty even.
Yeah, it's a picking game.
Yeah.
So, all right, we both have our biases. I want you to put your your very unbiased hat on, right? Your NFL analyst hat. What do you think is going to happen in this game? I know you won, but what do you think is going to happen?
I think the quarterback play is going to be very subpar on both ends of the ball.
Yeah, tell me.
I think we have our running back David Montgomery is going to be hurt, but we have a really good backup. Balled out this past weekend. Obviously, you guys have Barkley. He's having a great year so far.
He's finally back in his
Yeah, so I think the teams are going to rely on the run clearly because the passing game on both sides is trash. So it's going to be a low-scoring game unless there's like some kind of special teams or defensive touchdown. I see a few field goals on each side. I'm talking 20-17, some crazy, something like that. And I think it's a coin flip. I think either team could win. I'm not going to be surprised either way. It wouldn't be an upset either way. I think our defense is a little bit better than the Giants, I think. But our pass coverage is susceptible, but there's nobody on the Giants that can catch, and there's nobody that can throw the ball. So, I could say the same for the Bears, right? So I think it's going to be a running back game. I think it's going to be a boring game. A lot of run, a lot of punting, just a couple touchdowns maybe from each side if we're lucky. But I think, if I had to give the edge, it's in New York, so that's big. I think that crowd's going to be going crazy. They're 2-1, so that's good.
Yeah.
And Barkley could have a really big game. I could see that. So I think I'm going to be anxiously watching, but I'm optimistic, but I think it can go either way. So,
and you know what? Good thing Hector kind of brought this back. So as much as I like Ben's play, I'm glad. Yeah, the Giants, because Ben Roethlisberger is a creep. He's a creep for reasons I'm sure you guys fully know. So, yeah, I would rather have Philip Rivers. He has 15 kids, and he never had a problem. And he was a pretty good football player. You're right. I think he was in the wrong conference. I think if he was with NFC with that Giants team, he would be a legend.
Yeah.
It's Philip Rivers. We think he's Hall of Famer.
Oh, absolutely. He's first ballot. Philip Rivers is the first ballot in my opinion.
Yeah. If we had our choice now, and it was a weird trade because Eli didn't want to play.
Well, no, you can't take away. You won 2 championships with him, so you don't want to change anything about his career. Think about it. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I guess we're just we just imagine. We're just hypotheticals.
Okay.
But Philip Rivers is a better quarterback than Eli, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So you just if you then your imagination runs wild. Like, damn, he was that good.
Yeah,
with that defense, he would have put 20 points on, what do we call it, Tom Brady. Like it wouldn't have been a chance to, what I mean? But let's see another good one. Daniel Jones is going to run around like a subway rat. So right now, a lot of people in the New York media are saying that Daniel Jones is running too much and he's going to get himself hurt. Like this is a bad sign. He's going to get hit hard eventually. You can't just be. And the thing is, Daniel. There's a few things. There's no one separating. So we don't have no wide receivers separating. So, ball's hiked. He has no one to throw it to. He's going to start running because that's what Daniel Jones does. He runs. One of our wide receivers, I think he tore his ACL. He's out. The guy was always hurt. I forgot his name. Sterling
Shepard.
Yeah,
Sterling
he's
Shepard,
out.
he's a good talent, but
He
he's
came
not
back.
playing. Oh, forget it. Yeah.
Hey, ACL out for the year.
And the other guy, the guy that's got a lot of talent, he gets hurt a lot too. He's a Tooney, I think his last name is.
Yeah, yeah,
He's always hurt. And then you got
yeah.
Kenny Galladay. I think they gave him like 200 million. I think he's got one touchdown. Like yeah,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
the offense is
Sparkly
problem. So it leaves for Daniel Jones to run around like just like a headless chicken. So he may get hit, he may get knocked out the game eventually. I mean, he's no Lamar Jackson.
Yeah,
like, and Josh Allen, he has some, he runs, but he has some ballers on his team
Josh
that can throw.
Josh Allen is a dog. That guy he's impressive. Yeah.
So so Hector is I think he's a Giants fan. Barkley and Jones are going to run for combined 250 running.
Listen, the Bears got good linebackers, good defense. I could see Barkley because he's Barkley. He could break a couple runs. He catches out of the backfield. But I could also see them stacking the box and daring Daniel Jones to throw and picking him off a couple times.
Yeah, why would you allow Barkley to take over the game?
I'm bringing my safeties up. I'm going one-on-one coverage, press, and I'm going to dare them to actually beat me and dare Daniel Jones to throw a dime.
Yeah,
and I don't think it'll happen. So we'll see.
One thing I noticed, Daniel Jones has not fumbled the ball because last year he would just ball always hits the ground. Like, what do you do? Like, but also when you run. When you're running or you're thinking about running or you're switching between those things, you're going to get hit. And he's not the strongest dude. Yeah, he has some athletic running ability, but I'm not happy with the pick for Jones. I'm looking at that. I just looked at the class a couple days ago. I mean, unfortunately, rest in peace to the dude that the Washington drafted, Haskins. But he didn't work out either, and that was a big anger. It's like, why you pick Jones? You should have went with Dwayne Haskins, but Dwayne Haskins didn't work well in Washington either. Yeah. So who knows? These quarterbacks, you never know. You never know. College and the pros is such a drastic difference.
It's the toughest
just because you see something. It's not even the kid that's playing the Chargers. No one they kept saying, yeah, he's mechanical, but he's not gonna be okay. No, he's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
It's an interesting comment. Let me know if you agree. The Giants would have never won with Rivers at quarterback. He was a poor man's Brett Favre.
I think with quarterbacks, what we have to remember is what kind of system are you in? Phillip Rivers put up a lot of big numbers. I think he had a couple, 1 or 2 5,000-yard seasons, many 4,000 yards. Eli, I don't know if he ever really sniffed that.
I think Eli had been in the Pro Bowl like once, maybe twice.
So I think you got to remember what kind of system were you in. Did you have a receiver? Like, there's a lot of other parts that go into this, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't. Phillip Rivers has very comparable numbers to Brett Favre. I bet if we look them up, Brett Favre threw a lot of interceptions.
Yeah, more. Right? I don't think Rivers was that careless with the ball. I could look at the numbers. I don't remember him throwing 2-3 picks, you know what I mean? Like the way Brett Favre would just they call him the gunslinger, like just, So I don't know.
But he never won. So Phillip Rivers never won a Super Bowl, and that's one thing that will kind of hang over his head a little bit. And he had good, talented teams with the Chargers.
If we keep doing this podcast, Pedro, when they have the Hall of Fame ceremony for Eli Manning, I think we should live stream it, and you need to.
I'll tell you what.
Homage.
If he gets in the Hall of Fame, we'll do a live stream. I'll wear an Eli Manning jersey.
He's going to get in.
There's no way. You really think so?
Because I already told you reasons, but the biggest reason he played in New York. The media.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I'm not going to be surprised. Played in New York, but
he had a long career. He has some gaudy numbers because at this point, every quarterback can throw a lot of numbers.
So the numbers are different.
And those 2 Super Bowls.
Because I think if he has one, it's a definite no. But that second one separates him. So I get it. But
he was like, because he came back to the same party in the Super Bowl and was like, there's no way he's going to beat him again. And he threw some passes. I mean, it was one to Mario Manningham right on the edge of the field. And I was like, damn, you do it twice. There's some specialness about you. Now he's still a potato head sometimes. Like you look at him like, what are you doing?
Yeah, you know what though? Him and his brother, they had a really funny little Manning Brothers thing they do on Monday night. I don't know if
I watched that over
it's good.
Clay and Buck or whatever.
It's pretty good. Yeah,
because you could tell because I think Eli threw a shot at Russell Wilson saying they should have paid the punter 200 something.
Russell Wilson is the
What
saddest
happened?
story. I don't know. We've talked about this. He's goofy. I drafted him in football. I've already cut him and benched him. Like something's wrong with that guy. I
He's
don't know
living a
what it
better life
is.
than all of us, but is he
He
done?
is.
Is he like not into it, or is the rookie head coach, which I think now he probably regrets leaving to a rookie head coach. He's probably thinking, oh, I'll just have the same thing they had with Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll was a
Yeah.
beast. Like he was a successful college coach, successful NFL coach.
Yeah.
It's not a dime a dozen for these coaches.
But Russell Wilson's I think he's a little soft, man. Think about that. I'm gonna say this, and I want you guys to talk about it in the chat. Let me give me your opinion. I'm gonna give you guys some facts.
Okay.
Russell Wilson's playing on the Seahawks, about to win his second Super Bowl. They have the ball on a 2 or 3 yard line. Marshawn Lynch has been playing like a beast all game, right? Somebody calls in a play to pass the ball on a little slant or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? I'm the quarterback, Russell Wilson. I've already won 1 championship, blah, blah, blah. That's not a good play. Now, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, probably Ben Roethlisberger, probably Eli Manning would take their balls and say, hold on. We're not running that play. I'm not doing this right now. That's stupid. Look at the coverage. I'm not throwing that ball. Let's hand it to Marshawn Lynch 2 more times. Let's get a touchdown, right? Russell Wilson is with a rookie coach. First game of the year, right? 4th and 5. You pay me all this money. You don't want me to. You would rather kick a 50-something yard field goal, almost 60 yards, than to get 5 yards. They didn't call a timeout. They burned over a minute on the clock. Forget the rookie head coach. I'm a seasoned vet that's getting paid $250 million. I've won a Super Bowl. Russell Wilson doesn't have the balls to look at his coach and say, "I got this. We're not coming off the field." You think Tom Brady's coming off the field? You think Aaron Rodgers? No, those guys are. Nope. I got this. Trust me, I got this. Call a play. I'll get you 5 yards. So Russell Wilson just isn't that guy. I think
I can't argue with that one. Yeah, I can't argue.
Saying?
He's too nice.
Too many things have happened. He's too nice, man.
He's too nice. He lives a pretty good life, especially now. Sierra's still holding up very, very well.
Sierra's a beautiful woman.
And yeah, you're right. That especially what happened early in the season, where it was like, yeah, that was the whole plan. We're gonna have a guy hit a career field goal. Like, yeah, but because we see the coach explanation. We saw him hit him in practice. Well, practice is not the same as in the game, and Russell Wilson would probably got those 5 yards. As much as he has not been playing well, it just seems off.
You put the ball and the decision in your best player's hands. The best player on the Broncos is Russell Wilson. It's not Baltimore with Justin Tucker. Justin Tucker's like a Hall of Fame kicker. Then Brad McManus is not that guy. So it's bad coaching, but it's also bad leadership, in my opinion. On Russell Wilson,
you could have pushed a little bit more. All right, the Super Bowl. Listen,
that was crazy.
It'd be real tough to be like, this to play, and you'd be like, all right, and I'm gonna give it to this other guy, because if it goes wrong, it's on you. But I guess at the same time, you have to take it regardless, right? Like in that moment, man. I don't know.
You look at the defense, you call it audible, like
Nova Dasher.
Yeah, you call. I mean, you can't. It just doesn't. That's why I think he's not that. He's just not that guy. Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, other guys, Ben Roethlisberger, they're not throwing that interception. It's not happening. I really believe that, and I think Russell Wilson's probably a Hall of Fame quarterback. He is. He's put up some big numbers. He's got a chip, but like the first 3 games in Denver have been, and they're 2-1, which is weird. They're 2-1.
I stopped watching the Monday. Was it Monday night game?
It was a boring game. It was Sunday night.
So bad.
Yeah,
it was so bad. It was like a bunch of punts. It was just punting. That's why Eli was like, "Yeah, they should give the punter that much money." And then Russell came back with, "Well, I know about Chad Powers. I beat him 3 times. I'm 3-0 against him." I'm like, "Well, all right." You can tell it bothered Russell a little bit. Just like, "Well, I beat your ass 3 times we played. What are you talking about?" But that's a cool thing. Like there is some edge, but no, he's too nice. He gets to do what he wants. There's a lot. Apparently, he's a little pampered. That seemed like that was the issue back in Seattle, where like the defense was like you're giving Russell a lot of flack or a lot of leeway compared to us. You're giving us. So we'll see what happens. I thought the Broncos were going to do some big things. No, not. They got to clean up whatever the hell's going on.
Their offense is bottom 3rd in the league. They have playmakers on wide receiver position. They got 2 very serviceable running backs. And there's no reason for them to be playing how they're playing. It's the play calling, but also as a leader. And the quarterback position is the most coveted. It's the most important position. in all of sports. And Russell Wilson has to take a little more control of that what's going on over there. And I don't see it. I mean, it's bad. They look really bad. But they're 2-1, which is strange. They have a winning record. So
the Giants are 2-1. Who knows what's going on?
The Bears are 2-1.
Dolphins are 3-3 and 0. Like they're a beast. Like who knows what the hell's happening? I don't understand it. Yeah. Eagles is going to run away with the division. I'm just happy that we're 2-1 right now. We're going to probably be 3-1 when we beat the Bears on Sunday. So Pedro suggested a fantastic idea, and I think my schedule has opened up. You know what, Pedro, you announce it.
This is what I think we're going to do. We're talking about live streaming while the game's going on. I don't know if there's a way to even live stream the game. I don't know how that works, but we want to get together on Sunday, do a little live. Maybe we do, I don't know, the fourth quarter, or you know what I'm saying, like do like an hour or so, or maybe
whatever you want. I mean, if you want to sit here for 3 hours and talk for 3 hours, I'll do that. Yeah. I'm sure you probably got other shit to do, but if you want to talk the whole game,
no, Sunday. Listen, Sunday in my house is I watch football.
Okay.
All day. It's 7 hours, NFL Red Zone. I got Ruby with me. I just play with her. I got the game going on. I'm checking my fantasy every 30 seconds. That's all I do on Sunday. I don't work on Sunday. I don't do nothing on Sunday. So I definitely have the time. So we'll talk.
If you want to. Either way, we're going to live stream. I know we, I see people pipe in the audio. Now the problem is with what I have, YouTube TV, I think you guys, anyone else probably, you guys are ahead, but we could probably figure some out. The score, things don't change that quickly sometimes. So I think we're going to do that. So we'll get to what idea or what time we want to jump in and do it.
I mean, even if let's just talk. I'm talking out loud here. You guys in the chat, let us know if you'd like that. But I mean, I could take all this stuff upstairs and have it, have us doing like what the Manning brothers do. We're watching the game and we're commenting. You know what I'm saying? We're talking as the game's going. You can hear it in the background or whatever. Our channel's not monetized. We don't care about copyright strikes. It doesn't matter, right? So like we could totally do it like that. I think that could be fun.
And also anybody who wants to join in, maybe put the link up. Hector, you want to jump in? I know you're a big Giants fan. Nova, you want to come in and start hating for some reason? Like, like he's already hating. The Giants won't win. Unless the Bears give the game away.
Let's call it. Listen, I don't know what Nova and Hector got going on, but that could be fun. The four of us getting on together, watching this game, commenting.
Definitely.
That could be a good idea. So, I think that could be good. I'm looking forward.
You know what? Let's do the whole game. Even if you could always step in and out. If Hector wants to jump in or Nova wants to jump in, we talk about the other games as well. I may have the red zone fire up as well. That sounds like a fantastic Sunday idea. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, see, giggity, no need for visual. I could totally, like, we could figure the audio out in some way, shape, or form for sure. We could make
awesome.
It happen.
I know you also said you're going to let Ruby witness all, because she's been doing it the last couple of weeks. I'm sure she's dealt with you screaming at the TV. Apparently. Yeah.
Oh, she was out of town this past Sunday, so I was really screaming when Smith had that interception with a minute to go. I was I was hyped, bro. I was hyped.
She's going to deal with it. She's going to deal with it. Anyone that grew up watching your parents, or at least your father, watching a game and getting really emotional, you're like, what the hell's wrong? And then you, a couple of years later, you're into it as well. That's just how it works. This is how it works.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, man.
So Sunday, we'll do that. I'm looking forward to it. We'll set that up. 3
shows in a week. You can't say we don't love you guys.
Let me say this. Thanks for 300 subs, guys. We went over 300 subs.
Yeah.
So appreciate you guys continuing to support us. It's growing. We're happy for that. At the end of the day, me and him we're two guys, we're two friends that like to talk these topics. You guys come and watch us. Continue to be looking out for some shorts. We're starting to make some short content because YouTube really likes the shorts. 30 seconds, a minute, whatever. So keep looking out for that. Listen, all I ask, I got no shame. Hit the thumbs up every once in a while. If you're watching and you're not subscribed yet, hit that red subscribe button. We're trying to give you guys some good content, good conversation, pushing the envelope, doing some things different here. So, and part of that is, going live twice a week now, putting in a third live if there's some really cool sports event that you guys want to come and just watch with us and hang out, whatever. So be looking out for different things on this channel. So we appreciate the 300 subs very much, guys.
Very much so, because this is like a baby for us. It's something totally new, and as much as awesome that we see faces for the others work that we do in terms of other content, but also new faces who actually are kind of vibing what we're trying to do. And we're on that road to 500 subs, because that's when we get the community tab. And I'm going to have the polls out. I'm going to have the poll. I'm sure you're going to be putting polls and questions that span hip hop, obviously, and sports. So we're in the right direction. We're having a great time doing it. Highlight of my week. And I think we're gonna have a fantastic future for this little operation we have here.
Absolutely. So, and don't forget, if you guys come on Sunday, I'm gonna be talking a lot of shit. So just know that me and Hannibal, we ain't gonna be friends for that 3 hours. I'll tell you.
Well, I'm gonna have a few drinks too, so the show may end. Well, this is what I really think of you, Pedro.
Real feelings will come out. We're gonna test our friendship, guys, on Sunday.
Yeah, it should be fun. I may just yell at Nova because he's been talking shit about Giants for so long. But we're gonna have fun. Appreciate you guys for coming through. Other than that, I think we're done. We're good.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll be seeing you guys football Sunday at 1 o'clock, right?
So I guess when the games start for me, it's always 12. So for you, it's 1.
It's 1, yeah. So
Eastern, 1 o'clock Eastern. Yeah.
We'll be up doing our thing at 1 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. Have a good night, guys. Peace.